Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you.
Oh my God, y'all, this is too much. I am watching this address to the Joint Congress. Let me tell you guys something. The Democrats, if you are a Democrat, you should be so embarrassed. They're acting like little bitty kids. They all got an attitude. They had to kick Al Green out because he running there shaking the stick. Nancy Pelosi slobbering on herself. Hakeem Jeffries sitting over there. And did you see Jasmine Crockett when Al Green got kicked out? She sit down like, I don't think I should do it now. You should not. They all over there holding up signs, somehow false and Elon and all of this. They are so embarrassing. I wouldn't want to be a Democrat, but you know what this does? It lets me know that I'm on the right side because everything that man is saying is good for America. And now you see who does not want America to prosper. You see who does not care about America. Them Democrats sitting over there with an attitude. I'm sick of them. Oh my God, they're embarrassing. I couldn't be called a Democrat. No way.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, if you tuned into our live stream last night, you were able to watch Donald Trump live, President Donald Trump, that is, give his speech to a joint session of Congress. And those Democrats, boy, they showed out from the very beginning, even as he was trying to walk into the chamber. It was incredible and it was humiliating. I think anyone who calls themselves a Democrat today should feel a certain degree of shame, especially when you look at Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House of Representatives, who asked his party, how's that for leadership? He asked them, he begged them not to do this. Well, you ain't much of a leader if you can't control your party. But he understood the ramifications. He understood the blowback, which is what they're receiving today, which is why this video is coming to you now. Hakeem Jeffries is so much of a leader that he understood that it would be detrimental for his party to get out there with those auction signs they were holding up. For somebody like me, look like a church fan. You out there holding up your church fan with all this detrimental stuff written on it. You got your signs, you got your old blackety black standing up and waving canes around, crowing at the people. It was a mess. You got Nancy Pelosi chewing on her own spit or trying to adjust her dentures or whatever was going on in her mouth at the time. I guess somebody texted her and told her that the camera was on her because later on she put her mask on. Y'all, these old, elderly elected officials that won't retire, that won't get out the way, that won't let America progress because they are too entrenched in this bureaucratic power structure. They got too many people that's dependent on them to eat. And boy, are they being fed by these corrupt Democrats who are finding themselves in a position where their entire system is being blown up by the likes of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Well, they couldn't help but come out and show out and embarrass themselves in front of the whole world.
And our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Imagine that, y'all. Everything we went through under Joe Biden. And these Democrats try to tell us, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about inflation. Oh, there's nothing we can do about the border. Oh, there's nothing we can do about crime on the rise in America. Oh, there's nothing we can do about your standard of living going down by the day in America. You just stand there and you take it as we take your tax dollars and ship them all over the world for nefarious reasons. And we couch it in these beautiful names like Social Housing Coalition, Fair Righteous Communities in Uganda, in Ghana, in Liberia, in all kinds of places where you don't want your tax dollars going. Well, that's where the Democrats were sending it, because there's a big washing machine over there where they can wash that money up, launder it up, and turn it right back around and send it to their own nonprofits in America. Well, Donald Trump has put an end to all of this, but he ain't gonna end it before he exposes it. And that's why the Dems are running scared. And to see that they have nothing left in the tank, aside from a little sugar that they always have in the tank. But aside from that, they have nothing left in the tank but to act like petulant children, to kick and scream and fuss and cry. Well, I kind of feel sorry for Hakeem Jeffries because he had to sit there and endure it as his party showed out against his own directive. Donald Trump slapped him in the face and said, hey, you've been told all the time that there was no fix for this? No, you didn't need all these legislative acts that Joe Biden told you needed. All you needed was a new president. All you needed was competency in the White House. All you needed was a go-getter. All you needed was MAGA to take over.
Well, thank you, Simone.
Can we talk about it?
The bingo signs were killing me. I don't know who thought up the bingo signs, but they should be fired.
Michael, this is an indictment, in my opinion, on the Democratic leadership. I talked to a lot of members during they was texting. The staff were on my phones and they were calling. And I think the best way to describe it is the Democratic leadership said they didn't want disruptions and they wanted people to attend and bring a guest, and they wanted, little business as usual, and we're fighting back in other ways. There is a palpable disgust, as Claire said, from not just the members, but their constituents. And it's like a pot, as someone described it to me, that's boiling, and it's about to bubble over. If you do not allow the members a space to release valve, it's going to bubble over. And this was the visuals are not taking back the House in 2026.
Y'all listen, when you lose MSNBC, you know you're down bad. When the Democrats don't have a strong hold on the narrative on MSNBC or CNN or their old faithful networks, you know you're down bad. But the commentators couldn't help it because they knew that everyone in America was seeing what they were seeing. The Democrats are crashing out. The Democrats are embarrassing and humiliating themselves on national TV. Not only are Americans watching, but foreign countries are watching, foreign leaders are watching. They're looking to see what goes on in this country. And they looked and saw this president stand 10 toes down and face those Democrats and roast them to their faces. He clowned them. Because he know, as he told Zelensky the other day, you ain't got no cards. He know the Democrats have no cards. Donald Trump has all the cards. And you know what's beautiful about this? Because this person on MSNBC is saying they ain't got no path to victory in 2026. Well, I agree, sis. I don't normally agree with Simone Sanders, but on this point, I will give it to her. She's right. But the beautiful thing about this current circumstance in this administration is that you got a young, spry J.D. Vance who gets to sit up under a master teacher like a Donald Trump, who is no holds barred, y'all. He can't run again. He did it twice. He's satisfied his ego. He's termed out. He's going to let it fly. And you got a young J.D. Vance who gets to sit under that leadership as a young journeyman, a young intern, and say, hey, I'm going to soak it in. I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm going to take my notes. I'm going to study this man. That's what he is, an understudy. And even at this point, Donald Trump is saying, hey, I ain't got to do everything. I got me a young bull down here that'll do some work. Go on over there to these international countries, to these international organizations, and you give the speech. You do the talking. You go to the border. You check up on it and report back to me. He's doing more work. And I'm so glad, y'all, that J.D. Vance is not Mike Pence. Let me say that. But we have a promising future under this leadership, knowing that JD can sit back and learn from this man and hone his skills until the time comes where he can take the reins in 2028. As far as 2026, Democrats have nothing to offer that is going to outdo, outshine, outperform the platform that MAGA is putting forward.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber. Members are directed.
So many people.
Is yelling during the speech the best way to get that across?
It is the best way to get it across to a person who uses his incivility against our civility. He is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
Do you think you have the mandate? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me. I've said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
So were you saying you have protesting?
No, I have other things I'm protesting. And I'm also working on my articles of impeachment. This president is unfit. He should not hold the office. 34 felony convictions, 2 times impeached.
Sir, tell me one more time what you were shouting in the chamber.
That he has no mandate to cut Medicaid.
That's what you were saying over and
Yes.
over. Thank you, sir.
Yes. No mandate. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
So they are left to try to weigh on your sympathies, your emotions, and put up the old blackety black man to wave his cane and say, hey, can you feel for me as an old man out here? Trump is pouncing on me. Trump is beating up on me. Can I garner some sympathy from the Democrat Party, from the Democrat audience? And matter of fact, you're going to need to have a wider audience because the Democrats got trounced in this recent election. Donald Trump is a popular president, the people's president. So if you want to have some positive results in the midterms, you're going to have to make some inroads into independents, into Republicans, into those who didn't participate previously and get some new voters to come out. Yeah, you got a lot of work to do. And it's going to take more than just having old men stand up and howl into the crowd. No, ain't enough sympathy in the world, Al Green. Ain't enough sympathy on earth to make people vote for something that looks this pathetic.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. Thank you.
Democrats tonight were so pathetic, they couldn't even stand for Laken Riley's family. Jocelyn Nungary, his mother, a slain officer's wife, Stephanie Diller. They couldn't even stand for a beautiful 13-year-old cancer survivor who dreams of being a police officer and tonight became a Secret Service agent, DJ Daniel. He said, this is my 5th time at a joint address from President Trump. And sadly, there is nothing this president could do or say that would make these Democrats stand and cheer. This has now become a party of rage and hate, a radicalized party reduced to a collective temper tantrum, sitting on their hands, doing nothing for the American people. But tonight, this is also a defeated party. No solutions, no coherent message, no plan for the future, simply reduced to political stunts and smears and outright lies.
Spoke. It started out with Al Green getting thrown off the House floor because he couldn't keep his emotions under control. Then they had the ridiculous paddles, which now social media is roasting.
That you said false on one side and
Ridiculous.
Elon on
and
the
then
other.
finally, and maybe most terribly, the Democrats who couldn't find it in their heart to stand for objectively good things, including the 95-year-old mother of Mark Fogel and Mark, who got rescued from a Russian prison, and they couldn't even stand up for that. I thought Democrats came into this speech lost and defeated by Donald Trump. And today it looks to me like they're even more lost and even more defeated than when this speech.
Y'all, I love the fact that Trump's speech had some very magical moments. There was a young 13-year-old boy with brain cancer who survived it. Doctor said 6 years ago, they said he had 5 months to live. And here he is 6 years later, at the age of 13. He's already been honored throughout the country by different police departments because he wanted to be a police officer. His father supported him. Donald Trump brought him out and made him an honorary Secret Service agent, y'all. He got a badge and everything. That night he hugged the director of the Secret Service. It was a magical moment. People in my live chat said they were bawling. They were brought to tears by moments like this, but there were other moments. I mean, Donald Trump was just steady hitting balls out of the park over and over, just smacking Democrats upside the head repeatedly. There was nothing they could do to stop him from mentioning Jocelyn Nangary and her mother, the 12-year-old girl who was raped, beaten, and unalived by illegal immigrants. Laken Riley, who had a similar situation on the campus of her college in Georgia. Y'all, he brought up these tear-jerking moments and took you on an emotional roller coaster. Up and down and up and down. And at the end of the night, he gave you the promise that he would do the best for America, and he gave you hope that America was going to be better for putting him back in office. And y'all, it's believable. And all the Democrats could do was he and ha and try to be emotional. America doesn't need emotion right now. America needs action. And by God, you are getting action from America's president who acknowledged God Almighty over and over. I wish I had a counter so I could have counted how many times the man acknowledged God, including the moment God saved his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. But Democrats can't see it. They can't connect with it. They are too ideologically driven. They are too dug in on all that alphabet stuff. Y'all, dare I say they are irredeemable. No, we looking past 2026 because we think we got 2026 in the bag. Now, we know the Democrats are dug in to the point where they might try to sabotage something. And we know they got connections all over the world. So expect the unexpected. But if Donald Trump just maintains at this level, as he's done for 6 weeks, y'all, it's only been 6 weeks. Seems like it's been months and months and months, but no, it's only been 6 weeks. And if he maintains at this level and we see he has the stamina to do it, I think America is going to be in good hands moving forward.
I think this was a lesson in finding one thing that you let yourself feel. And I let myself feel joy about DJ, and I hope he's alive for another, 95 years, right? And I hope he lives and the life he wants to live. He wants to be a cop. He knows what he wants to do. And maybe when you have childhood cancer, that crystallizes for you. And I hope he has a long life as a law enforcement officer. But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide. And I hope he isn't one who has to testify against the people who carried out acts of seditious conspiracy and then live to see Donald Trump pardon those people.
For the record, and this is disgusting, the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising Doge. The Doge cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatric cancer.
Pretty awful. And I really did not like the way he used the tragic incidents and the families that were there, who of course appreciated, what they think is their president caring about what happened, to the 12-year-old and to others who were victims. And we all feel sad and bad for them, but he misused them. He misused them. And what he did was he focused on them instead of focusing on the real issues that we're dealing with now.
And even after all that positive energy, y'all, seems like the pundits couldn't help themselves but to fall into traps of their own making. You got news pundits out here saying that, yeah, the 13-year-old boy was a good moment, a highlight of the night, but the woman got on the news and said, I hope he doesn't unalive himself. And I know it's all over X, it's all over social media, it's trending right now because her comments were so out of line. What would make you say such a thing? A boy who is suffering, a boy who is overcoming, a boy who is trying to live his life to the fullest. He said with his own mouth, I'm gonna live life till I run out of gas. 13-year-old shouldn't even have to think that way, but that's where he is in life because of his experience. And you say something as idiotic as he might unalive himself? Well, it shows where the Democrats are. It shows how dug in they are. It shows how wedded they are to certain ideologies that are not good for themselves and certainly not good for America.
During the course of the event, which is wanting to get reaction on Congressman Al Green's antics and being ejected, 80% of speech watchers said that the Democratic congressman's interrupting of Trump's speech was inappropriate. Only 20% of speech watchers thought what Green did was appropriate, Aaron.
And there you have it, y'all. As you can see, there is no reason for you to align yourself with that Democrat plantation. And if you've been over there stuck, tied to a tree, answering to your Democrat masses over there, getting whooped on, beat on, well, we ain't gonna hold it against you if you decide to run away over to a freedman's party. Over to a party that is loyal to God, loyal to family, and loyal to country. The invitation remains open, but you're going to have to change your mindset. You're going to have to change your actions. You're going to have to change your life. That's right. You're going to have to divorce that plantation mentality and come over to the right side, the side that is right for America. The side that is not going to embarrass you like these Democrats did last night. I know you might feel bad, you might feel humiliated, but you'll get over it swiftly if you align yourself with right-thinking people. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.